Hello and welcome back to my playthrough of Fault Milestone 2. Last time, we found out about Returner's condition and that Rupica is actually looking after her. I'm not going to push the issue, just let her sleep. Her body's desperately trying to restore its mana rhythm back to normal. Returner needs as much rest as she can get right now. Anyway, just give me a minute. I'm not going to try pulling anything. Paige? Yeah, about your roommate there. She's still asleep. Uh-huh. Alright. Nah, just some stuff going on over here. Wait just a minute. Look, I'll buy it for you. Okay. Hey, look, you can't just ask me to. Someone from inside the facility? Regan? What? Are you really going to go with what he's asking? That's the plan. Why? You barely know anything about him, right? And you're just going to do as he asks? Indeed. His demand is absolutely unreasonable. Still, I must abide by what he wants. How come? Think. This isn't a give and take negotiation. In a sense, it's downright coercion. What do you mean? Think about his demand. Going back to Rosenheim? To accomplish this, we need Rainmaster to be in good health. We also need a guarantee that she can recover. Taking all of this into account, he is basically holding her hostage. There was never any intent to negotiate in the first place. Do you get it? It may have looked like we were negotiating, but in essence, this is what Gruce said. Unless you take me with you to Rosenheim, I can't guarantee Returner will survive. But the part about her having to take medicine might be a lie. Even with what he said about her condition, it's possible that he really just kidnapped her. There's no way for us to tell if she's actually perfectly fine and that Gruce person is just feeding her sugar pills to make her think her life's in danger. Exactly. There is no way for us to tell. There's no merit in us trying to pry any more information from him, at least for now. I'm sure you've realised that Rainmaster's condition has deteriorated ever since we've set foot in this town. It's a pretty thin line, isn't it? Therefore, with the way things are proceeding now, we must take two things clear. Will Rainmaster truly be able to leave the facility after 4 days? And will she be able to continue on our journey without any issues? As long as we can ensure those two conditions, then we can continue. Let's play along with Gruce's little game for now. Nope, no good. Still asleep. First off, we need to know whether she's alive or not. Once she wakes up, have her contact us at once. Skeptical much? Man, well sure, I don't mind passing the message, but I can't guarantee whether or not she can get in touch with you with that trans something or other. Just keep that in mind. All of this sure is going quite conveniently for you, eh, Gruce? Everything just happens to fall perfectly into place for you, don't you think? Jeez, get off my back already, will you? There's got to be a limit to how much you can doubt people. I'll have you know I'm trying to be a nice person to a fellow countryman here. You're going to keep on insisting that you don't have any bad intent here. Well, that depends on your definition of bad. At the very least, I don't mean any of you any harm. Neither do my goals here. Understood. Well then, Gruce, if you want to gain our trust, then you need to do us a favour. You sound pretty commanding considering you're supposed to be asking me a favour. Are you up to it? Depends on what you want. Oh, it's simple. Just teach us how to make this medicine. Huh? This is... Ah, this is Sol's little sister's. This medicine, what do you plan to do? Make it. And why would you want to do that? If what you're saying is true, then that means we'll have 4 days of free time. This is what we'll be doing to kill some time till then. I don't know what you're up to, but this is extremely easy to make. Just desiccate the base ingredient, Sekola garlands, grind them into a powder, and then let them rest for about a week. Oh-ho! Is it possible to grow this Segolia? Making the medicine and growing Segola are relatively easy. What, are you planning to grow them over here? Is there a problem with growing it here? Well, yeah, it's not just here either, but this entire country really. It won't grow in this soil. Soil? What's wrong with this country's soil? Segoila won't grow anywhere else but in rich fertile areas with volcanic pyrosoil. Viscanta's soil is heavily aqua attribute. Segoila isn't even going to sprout. Pyrosoil? Yep, Viscanta has to import all of its Segoila powder from its neighbour, Ceres. There's volcanoes in there. Well, there's a lot to explain, but it takes a lot of effort to bring something over from Ceres, so it's near yet so far. There's a valley in between, right? Huh. Oh, so you do know. Will that Segoila grow as long as it's in soil from Ceres? Well, as long as the environment is just right, then it should be possible. But you know, that fertile soil of Ceres is pretty expensive, you know. Regan? That Sol fellow, he's certainly sharp as a tack, isn't he? Zavitz? Yep. Hey, don't cut me off while I'm talking here. The soil isn't a problem. Teach us how to raise it, how to prepare it, and anything else we need to pay attention to. We'll do the rest. Sol, let's dig a hole, right now. What's got into you? Hey, Zevitz, explain first. Why don't you? Sol, Bill? Listen up, you see. Eh? That medicine? You can grow it? Right here? Thankfully, we still have a lot of that soil left over. It looks like we can grow Segoila right here. As long as the environment is just right, those plants won't take more than a few days to sprout. Apparently, once they've sprouted, they're as easy to grow as weeds. Really? We'll be doing this to kill time while waiting for Rain Vasta's discharge. Let's prepare the area so we can grow some Segoila. We'll make some waves, no matter how small, in this country's crumbling medical system. By ourselves? What? Mill? Why the long face? No, it's just I can't believe it. I mean, Sol's been trying so desperately to earn money to get that very medicine. I just don't know what to think right now. I wonder what's gotten into them. I'd expect them to be happier at the whole prospect, but they seem to be somewhat against it. Maybe it's just the initial surprise. Anyway, let's just do it for now. Sol, can you lend me a hand? Huh? Ah, yeah, sure. Sol, time for you to learn about plant cultivation and agriculture. Oh, agricraft. Craft? Thanks, or no thanks, for the ophia you underwent. You seem to have the affinity for all 4 forms of mana, though it is rather crude. You should be able to pull it off as long as you concentrate. Agricraft? A climate here is just a touch too cold. You need to keep the area around the plants at a stable temperature. Just in case anything happens, you need to be able to handle it yourself. Yeah. So, put the soil in this container over there, please. I'm going to keep on digging. Wait. You're going too fast. Are you alright with stepping outside? Won't it worsen your condition? I'll be fine if it's only for a short while. Lately, I haven't been feeling too bad. Well, if I move around too much, I'll end up collapsing though. What is your daily routine like? Obviously, you can't push yourself, but you look perfectly fine otherwise. Staying at home all day would certainly leave you bored, wouldn't it? What's with that expression of yours? No, I was just thinking that you asked pretty interesting questions, is all. Interesting? Yeah? I don't exactly have a lot to do, but I wouldn't say I'm bored either. Oh, whenever Sol gets hungry, he comes back home, so I do a little bit of cooking. But I can't really exert myself, as I told you earlier. Ah, there's also the bibliotransmission. I speak with the people nearby through it. Bibliotransmission? You've never heard of it? It's been getting pretty popular around here. The bibliotransmission is like a book form of Concraft. Whatever people write down on their book appears right in your own copy. Using the written word to hold a conversation, eh? There are stories and pictures inside. It's quite interesting to read it all. And just who are you holding these conversations with? Well, I wouldn't say I'm holding a conversation. Seeing as all I do is read. Besides, most of the people writing entries do it anonymously, so you wouldn't know who it's from. Though, judging by the way they write and their word choice, I can tell they're Viscantans. We've already got Concraft. Why go through the trouble of writing it all on paper? Seems like such a waste of effort. With Concraft, you need to have both parties accept the connection. Plus, bibliotransmission lets you communicate anonymously. I suppose that is where bibliotransmission differs most from Concraft. I see. It sounds like the perfect place to sow lies and deceit. Who can say? There isn't much substance behind what's written, so I doubt it'll cause any problems. Just what are they writing about here? I'm reading this Diary of a Girl Imprisoned in Neo-Sasori. At least, that seems to be the setting. Setting? It seems she's writing a story as if she herself was in Neo-Sasori. I'm thinking whoever's writing this is someone really interested in Neo-Sasori. It's quite interesting. The story talks about life under the sea down to some pretty minute details. Oh, seems like the premise of that author here can't leave her own room. She writes about what she's feeling that day, quite thoroughly. The author has quite the imagination, but the way she writes is almost sad, melancholic. You see, I'm usually alone at home, so I can empathise with the author. Diaries are normally not things shown to others. Like I said, it's probably just the way the writer is presenting the work. In any case, it's fun to read. And what if this person writing this diary turns out to be some big middle-aged man? Does a man who can write stories from the view of a young girl even exist? Who knows? It takes all sorts, especially when it comes to hobbies. Honestly, it doesn't really matter who wrote it. In the first place, I don't intend to pry into anyone in the bibliotransmissions. This is all nothing more than a way of wasting time. Huh. Well, this is all quite fascinating, a line that can cover the entirety of a single country. It might even be able to allow communications from all around the world if done properly. The entire world? Don't be silly. This is nothing more than a fun little toy. When used in the right way, there is nothing that Minecraft cannot do. Sooner or later, this technology will be copied by a more talented crafter. Or perhaps some reverse engineers it and greatly improves its communication range. Such as the March of Progress. The March of Progress. The development of craft technology in the last 2 years in particular has been improving by leaps and bounds. Being able to speak with someone on the other side of the world. Well, even if we were able to achieve that, just what could we even use it for? I can only imagine that it will lead to problems. Miscanta and Ceres are so close to each other, their languages are so similar, and yet the people can't even get along. And people from faraway countries hold a conversation, and I highly doubt they will come to an understanding. Indeed, I can't deny that. People can be hurt by the smallest, minutest things. Truly worthless, those who have a weakened sense of doubt will end up getting cold. A sense of doubt? Without a sense of doubt, a sense of danger, people become dull. When one is dulled, one is unable to react upon sensing that something is strangely off. They become unable to defend themselves. Outright discrimination, a clear division in the social strata, brainwashing by those who hold power. This exploitation is what awaits those who turn a blind eye to the evils of man. The Viscantans here, for one. The people of this country are being exploited. That they are. The Vita Stream and domain are rightfully yours to begin with. They and countless other precious resources were taken away from you under the guise of reforms. I wouldn't know the worth of these resources, but it's clear that Ceres is manipulating you all. Yet the Viscantans don't see a single thing wrong with this picture. I can't help but think that they are lacking in something. And even that physical condition of yours, had this country been run competently, you might have been cured a long time ago already. What? Common sense would dictate that those suffering from serious illness ought to be given priority to reside within the Vita Stream, yes? But just look at that. Those discriminatory Ceresians are running amok in your very birthplace, paying to extend their own rotten lives. Don't you see something wrong with this picture? No, that's all just a pipe dream. I mean, you need money to live in the Osasari. And the people from Ceres had money, so they made a town. No mere individual could have the money to fund that scale of construction, but a country does. Oh, Sol, are you alright? Wait, I just need a rest. I'd really like to get the soil changed out by today, if that's possible. Well enough politicking for one day. Take a rest, both of you. It's almost lunchtime. Huh? Okay. Now then, Sol, Mill, I think we've been doing you quite the favour here. I'll leave lunch in your hands. Sure. Sol, could you help me out? Okay. After being instructed by Regan, both Sol and Mill headed into the house. Sol didn't have as much stamina as I thought he did, huh? Zewitz. Yes? Don't be soft on Sol. Huh? I need you to act as an observer for me. Observer? For what? Push Sol's stamina to its limits. That ought to clear his mood up to some degree. His mood? Sorry, I don't see what you're getting at here. I'm sure you've already realised that there's something wrong with him. Yes? Even though it looks like we can grow a Segula here, he doesn't look happy at all. In fact, he looks like he's shocked, in a bad way, more than anything. I can more or less conjecture as to why. But I'll keep that to myself for now. What's important for now is to keep him working. Tomorrow, I'll thoroughly beat everything there is to know about agricraft into him. After Regan told me all that, she simply closed her eyes and stayed completely silent, not saying another word about Sol. I continued to stare at Regan, who at times seemed to give off Sally's aura. It felt quite strange. Just what would Sally look like in the future after the Pathdown's breaking in? Was I napping? I can hear people talking within the darkness. Conversation I've never heard etched deep into my memories. So I up? Sol, get up. Miss? Get up, we're digging again. Right now, it's still dark outside. The sun's about to come out. We need to finish changing the soil by morning. Otherwise, you won't have the time to learn all of the agricraft you need. We will have some Segula buds sprouting before Rune and I leave this place. But... Enough. Just get to work. What do you think we're doing this for? Ah, yeah. As I wake up, I notice that Sol and Regan are no longer in the room. Huh? Shh. What the heck is that sound? Mill isn't here either. Could they be... Ah, good morning, Rune. You already started? Have a look, Zevitz. Sol's rather impressive. I fully expected this to go well past noon, but at this rate we should be finished by mid-morning. You should have woken me up. Moving Earth like this takes a lot of stamina, doesn't it? I told you, didn't I? We're going to work him to the bone. That aside, Zevitz, go and fetch some water from the river. Sol has some buckets over there. Okay. If you go straight down that path, you'll end up at the river. Good luck. Got it. Well, you sure get up pretty early. I couldn't sleep last night. It's been quite a while since I've gotten up this early. Are you okay? Shouldn't you rest a little more? I'm fine. Sol's working so hard over there, I ought to at least give him some moral support. Is that so? By the way, have you eaten breakfast yet? None of us have. I see. What, don't tell me you're hungry. I sure am. I worked my butt off yesterday, so I'm absolutely starving. What a slovenly expression. Very well. Let's have a breakfast once you come back. Phew. Sol, we're having some breakfast when you finish. Just one last push. You better hurry up and get this over with. Sol, you can do it. Let's have all breakfast together. Is this what they call the stick and carrot approach, Regan? Oh, no need to exaggerate. People simply don't act unless they are made to. I would have liked for his own self-motivation to serve as an impetus, but we're pressed for time. If we're pressed for time, then why didn't you just ask me to help out? And what is with that smirk on your face? You sure are nice, aren't you, Regan? If you find enjoyment in teasing me, then go right ahead. But I will remember this. Now, don't get too mad. Go and fetch some water already, why don't you? You're wasting our time here. Aye aye. Is it alright for you to just be treating Rune like that, like an errand girl? I'm asking her to do us a little favour. Where's the problem in that? You sure are pretty charismatic, aren't you? And what makes you say that? If you weren't, then I couldn't imagine Rune just letting you boss her around like that. Being charismatic isn't just something you can tack on yourself. All I've done is furnished myself with the skills to survive. That's all. You just can't take a compliment, can you? Don't tell me. You're embarrassed? I simply didn't expect to be showered with praise from a snotty little brat like you. Ooh, there you go again. You're trying to dodge the issue. And more importantly, you're the one preparing breakfast, Mill. You'll have to get the food ready for all 4 of us. Do you have experience with cooking? Of course I can. I simply choose not to. You ought to be thankful I'm taking the time and effort to supervise all of you here. If you say so. And with that, I am going to stop this video here today. If you want to watch more Fault Milestone 2 videos, please leave a like in the video, or subscribe to watch all my other content. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.